On today's primetime local news, farmers in Vermilion will have a faster and more efficient option for moving grain to markets with a new state-of-the-art grain elevator.
Means 20 to 40 cents a bushel in transportation costs that they can save.
An exciting time for the midget AAA Bobcats, who've been invited to one of the most prestigious hockey tournaments in Calgary.
It's a whirlwind of an experience, and if you get in there coming hot, you can make some noise.
And today marks the one-year anniversary for the Gold Horse Casino. We caught up with the GM on their big day.
What does it mean to celebrate 1 year? It means a lot. And what we've done with the people we've met.
Plus, with Christmas holidays, the roads will get congested, and RCMP a warning to slow it down.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, I'm Judy Gabriel. Thanks for joining us. G3 has announced that Vermilion will be the latest site for a new grain elevator along with Swift Current. Eric Bay has more on the impact the elevator will have on Vermilion and the area.
With construction beginning early next year and expected to be finished in 2021, G3 Vermilion will help producers in the area move their product across the country while cutting their transportation costs.
First of all, it creates a little bit of an ag hub here, but certainly for the farmers in our area, it means 20 to 40 cents a bushel in transportation costs that they can save. So it allows our agriculture dealerships to become stronger, and we become more of an agricultural hub. So this is fabulous news.
The elevator fills a need for producers in this part of the province after seeing more development further west on the Yellowhead Highway.
Well, it's certainly very nice to see a new build in the region for not only for the economy, for the some construction and whatnot, but there was a lot of builds up the highway up further west towards Vegreville. So it's really nice to. I think this area was getting missed out from a lot of producers in this area up north, further north from us.
Vermilion, already centered around agriculture with multiple businesses and Lakeland College in town, will also see a boon to their ag sector with more producers coming in with their yields.
We've got a lot of the supports needed for agriculture in terms of our dealerships and equipment and lending opportunities. So this is really solidifies Vermilion as that agricultural hub. Then with the college, doing education around agriculture as well, and the student-managed farms. So this is a really great opportunity for our community.
The new elevator will have a 34,000-ton capacity and be built with a loop track for higher efficiency. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
Today's one of the busiest days of the year for Christmas traveling, and RCMP would like to remind drivers to travel with caution so everyone arrives where they need to be safely and enjoy their holidays.
Always check the road reports before you leave. Give yourself ample time to get to your destination. I always suggest letting your destination know your estimated time of arrival, and keep your people who are waiting for you updated. Because if you are delayed or if there's some kind of problem, at least we have a starting point as the police to start looking for you.
Enhancing road safety is one of the RCMP's priorities. While traveling, you'll see more marked police vehicles around to ensure that everyone is driving safely. And if something goes wrong, they can get to you quicker.
If you do find yourself in the ditch, make sure you try to stay close to your vehicle. Stay in your vehicle if you can. Call 911. At least we can start triangulating you, try to find you, and we'll come help you.
And the biggest thing the RCMP wants to remind people is to slow down and take your time with the road conditions. This will ensure everyone has a safe holiday. Well, 1 year ago, the Gold Horse Casino first opened its doors to the people in the border city. And this weekend, they're celebrating their first anniversary. Our Jasmine King has that story.
What does it mean to celebrate 1 year? It means a lot. And what we've done with the people we've met.
The Gold Horse Casino is the first ever casino in Lloydminster, and with the amount of success they've had, they owe a lot to the community.
Absolutely unreal. We've done a lot of good things. I meet continuously with different groups, different businesses, and we've been invited to sit on different boards. So it's been very great. Very good for the organization, SIGA and Gold Horse.
And with the support they've received, they feel they need to repay the community by giving back in multiple different ways.
As an organization, we believe in that, giving back. We are 100% nonprofit organization, so what we do is we give back. 25% of what we do goes back into communities. So through sponsorship, through different ways of doing it, through but we can, in this area, we can give up to $100,000 back in a community in 1 year, if not more.
For their anniversary weekend, they are hosting a few events and giveaways, including one local band.
We have Dirt Rich Band, local band. Looking forward to that. We're a lot of talk about the band. It's the first time we're going to have them here. Very excited about that. We have starting today. We're having a draw. We're introducing another truck, a nice looking Chevy, GMC truck out there. We're doing a draw tonight for a Vegas trip. We have multiple things going on here.
In the new year, they are also hoping to introduce a powwow in collaboration with SIGA. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
And now a look at your weather with our Abby St. John.
Thanks, Judy. Well, taking a look at our current temperatures, it is -5 here in Lloydminster. Fairly cloudy skies. It was a fairly nice day out today. We didn't see a whole lot of snowfall, which was nice, and it was quite clear for most of the day. 9-kilometer-per-hour winds coming in from the west-northwest, making it feel like closer to -9. So good thing we're still in the single-digit numbers. Taking a look at current temperatures down south, Medicine Hat sitting at 6 degrees, Lethbridge at 7, 4 in Calgary, -2 in Banff, -3 in Coronation, and on the Saskatchewan side, +3 in Swift Current, +4 in Moose Jaw, -1 in Estevan, -5 in Regina, -9 in Yorkton, and -3 out in Kindersley. And taking a look in North Battleford overnight, it'll be -8 overnight with a fairly cloudy night, with that wind coming in from the west at 9 kilometers per hour. And then tomorrow, a daytime high of -5, and the wind coming in from the south-southwest at 11 kilometers per hour with a mostly cloudy day. In Cold Lake overnight, mostly cloudy skies with a high of -13, and that wind will be at 7 kilometers per hour coming in from the west. And then tomorrow, there's a chance of snow throughout the day, with a daytime high of -7 and the winds coming in from the north-northeast at 9 kilometers per hour. And then here in Lloydminster overnight, it will drop to -9, and that wind will pick up to 17 kilometers per hour coming in from the west-northwest with fairly cloudy skies. And then tomorrow, there is a bit of a chance that we could see some snow mid-afternoon. About 2 centimeters is predicted to fall, with a daytime high of -6 and the wind coming in from the north-northeast at 9 kilometers per hour with a low of -9. However, it'll feel closer to -13 tomorrow with that wind chill. Then on Sunday, it'll be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -4 and a low of -8 with the wind chill making it feel closer to -13. And then on Monday, there's a 74% chance of some snow with a high of -5, which will feel closer to -11 and a low of -10. That is a look at your 3-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Mayor Gerald Albers and City Council faced a number of challenges in 2019, but believe they're putting their best foot forward in managing rising costs for taxpayers. Josh Ryan sat down with the mayor to talk about the budget, 2019 accomplishments, and the possibility of running in 2020.
Back in studio with me is Mayor Gerald Albers. Thank you very much for coming by our little studio. I know it's been a busy time for you around this time of year.
Well, thanks for the invitation. And yeah, things have picked up just a little bit this time of year.
Absolutely. So as we are now in the midst of the Christmas season, has it been nice to sort of have things slow down a tinge after a very busy November with having the budget and whatnot?
Yeah, it has slowed down a little bit from some activities, but other activities have picked up because of the Christmas season. A lot of people are in a very good mood, and different gatherings and celebrations, and the invitations continue to come in. So it continues to keep it busy. If it's not during the day, it's in the evening. So that's terrific.
Outside of the budget, which obviously was a real highlight for both staff and administration, what has stood out to you about 2019?
I guess the first one is the funding agreement with the wastewater treatment plant to be able to move forward in that project. I think that's for council and the city. I believe that was the largest event this year from that perspective. You know, having the repaving of the airport, spending another money that was received through a federal grant, $5.7 million. So that was another big event. And all the other work that we've done for the projects around the city. I think we've just about got everything wrapped up that we wanted to get wrapped up before Mother Nature delivered her latest edition.
For sure. Is there any, in terms, because you've made so many appearances throughout the community, is there any particular events you've gotten to be a part of that you're going to look back at particularly fondly?
2019, there was just so many great events, and you know, it's hard to just narrow down to one. And I always look forward to the next one. I guess that's the nifty part of my job. And you know, I'm looking already into 2020, and we've got the summer games coming, the Saskatchewan Summer Games. And you know, reflecting back, there was a lot of great events this year. A lot of great work went into a lot of great events, and because of volunteers, donors, and sponsors. And I think that's what makes me so proud of the city to go out and promote it, is that we have a tremendous community spirit in the city.
And that community spirit will obviously be needed moving forward with some of the announcements in the past couple of months. One of them is the buildings report, which is one of the most talked about documents you've had in the community. Obviously not great news when you got it, so that's, even though it's a significant moment in 2019, what's your view on how that will shape 2020?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of discussion continuing on in 2019 and into 2020 about the priorities of the city and what we need and what we want. It really comes down to that. As we talk about Fire Hall number 1, that's a need. The building is started in the 1940s, so it's gone through some renovations, but it's reached its end of life. From some of the other buildings, certainly they've been built sooner, but we didn't get the expected lifespan out of them what we hoped. It's disappointing, but it is the reality. So I want to ensure that the community understands and has that opportunity for discussion and engagement and the ability to give us some comments, because City Council is really 7 people, but we represent the entire city. So we want to try and get a good cross-section of people's thoughts, opinions, help them understand what we're facing as a City Council, as well as the city themselves as taxpayers. How do we move forward?
I know I briefly asked you this question once earlier this year. Have you given any more thought to the municipal election in 2020?
Given it a little more thought, and I think that my wife and I will take some time over Christmas and the New Year, and I won't leave the city waiting too long into the New Year to let them know what we're thinking as myself and my wife, because really you've elected me, but it's a team effort from the perspective that she supports me in the background, and I really appreciate that. So we'll have some news for you in the New Year.
A couple of rapid fire questions before we let you go back to enjoying your Christmas time. First, who is the person in City Council that most often throws a pop culture reference in the middle of a meeting?
Well, I think that would have to be Councillor Torreson, I believe. I'd have to give him that one.
Yeah, not particularly shocked by that. Whose laugh is usually the one that most breaks the silence in a good way?
Councillor Monroe, I believe, has a great laugh.
Fair enough. Who's the one who's the most eager to buy everyone coffee or donuts on a break if someone else is in charge of bringing in coffee or donuts?
That'd be Leo Perry. He seems to be the guy out the door quick.
Okay, fair enough. If you had to name someone the captain of the debate team, who would you like to be the captain of the debate team?
I would say Councillor Baker.
Yeah. He has a little bit of experience.
He's got just a little bit of experience.
Fair enough. And we'll end with this. What will you be watching with your family this Christmas?
Well, it might be a rerun of Frozen. That seems to be a hit with the nieces and nephews.
Okay. Well, I can expect you'll let a lot of things go then over the course of this next holiday break. Thank you very much for taking
Thank you
time.
very much.
And Merry Christmas, sir.
And a very Merry Christmas to you.
And now let's take a look at your stock market prices for today.
First General Services wants to wish you and your family a safe and joyous holiday season.
Welcome back. The National Farmers Union has sent a letter to the federal environment minister to ask for an urgent rebate on the carbon tax being charged on natural gas and propane for on-farm grain drying. They say the federal act exempts farmers gasoline and diesel purchasers to run farm machinery, but it doesn't exempt propane or natural gas used on farms to dry grain. As a result, farmers have additional costs for unavoidable grain drying. They say some may resort to using higher emitting diesel burners to avoid paying the carbon price. Members passed a resolution at a recent national convention asking the federal government to deal with the issue. And now here are your agriculture prices for today.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Centre Auto Body.
This weekend, the Inland Steel Midget AAA team will play their last 2 games before they head down to Calgary on Boxing Day. This year, the Bobcats will take part in the Max Midget AAA World Invitational. After a fairly successful first half of the season, the Bobcats will look to continue it on the biggest stage in midget hockey.
Yeah, none of them have played in it before. It's been a long time since this team's been in it. It's a different experience. You play some teams you've never seen before. It's on a big ice surface. There's lots of fans. It's a whirlwind of an experience, and if you get in there coming hot, you can make some noise.
Lloydminster has not sent a team there since the 2015-16 season. In that season, the Cats finished as runners-up, with multiple people winning awards. Ty Smith won for Best Defenseman, Austin McGrath won Best Goaltender, and Travis Clayton won Most Outstanding Coach.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a good experience for sure, and hopefully we can do something special. Obviously, it's huge for sure. We're in a bit of a slump, so it's good to get 3 points this weekend, hopefully go on a tear before we head up to Calgary.
The Max tournament has been around since 1978, previously being named the CP Challenge Cup. It is 25 of the best teams from around the globe vying for the championship. Last season, Junior A Bobcats assistant coach Brady Backey helped lead the St. Albert Raiders to a victory. The tournament goes from December 26th till January 1st. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports. Now to our Abby St. John, who's got the weather.
Thanks, Evan. Well, taking a look at our satellite radar, most of the region, both Alberta and Saskatchewan, fairly heavy cloud coverage to start. And then we're seeing a lot of precipitation down by Wainwright and in the Edmonton area as well, making its way more east to Vegreville, and then more up north by Lac La Biche and Cold Lake as it's making its way to the Saskatchewan side by Isle Cross. They have been experiencing some pretty heavy snowfall in there, and then Green Lake also has been experiencing some snow over the past couple hours, and then a mix of sleet down in North Battleford and the Maidstone area as well, so definitely be cautious as it could create a lot of ice if you are traveling or getting up to anything this weekend. Definitely be cautious that it could be a little bit more slick than a couple days ago. -5 here in Lloydminster, -2 down in Macklin, -10 in North Battleford, -7 in Maidstone, -8 in St. Walburg, Pierceland and Green Lake, -12 in Meadow Lake, and -9 up in Isle Cross. And on the Alberta side, -1 down in Provost, -2 in Wainwright, -6 in Vermilion, -5 in Marwayne, -8 in Vegreville and St. Paul, -7 in Edmonton and Lac La Biche, -9 in Bonnyville, and -10 in Cold Lake. And tomorrow, daytime high of -6, as well here in Lloydminster, as well as in Marwayne and in Vegreville, -1 in Provost, -4 in Wainwright and Edmonton, -5 in Vermilion, -7 in St. Paul, Bonnyville and Cold Lake, and -8 up in Lac La Biche. And on the Saskatchewan side, -6 in Maidstone and Meadow Lake, -5 in North Battleford and in St. Walburg, 0 in Macklin, -7 in Pearceland, also out in Green Lake as well, and -9 up in Isla Cross. Overnight across the region, Isla Cross seems to be the only part of the region that will experience some snow overnight. The rest of the region just fairly cloudy overnight with temperatures ranging between -13 and -6. And across Canada, your national temperatures in Vancouver, they're experiencing some rain with +7, -26 up in Yellowknife, -5 in Regina, -11 in Quebec City, where they're sitting fairly clear, -1 in St. John's, and 0 out in Halifax. And then your next 7 days, tomorrow, there is a chance that we could experience some snow in the mid-morning, early afternoon. About 2 centimeters is predicted with a high of -6 and a low of -9. Then on Sunday, it'll be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -4 and a low of -8. On Monday, to start your week off, unfortunately, there's a 74% chance of some snowfall with a high of -5 and a low of -10. On Tuesday, fairly cloudy day with a high of -6 and a low of -9. And then on Wednesday for Christmas, it is a high of -8 and a low of -10. On Thursday, it's a high of -13 and a low of -17. And then to finish off your week on Friday, will be a high of -10 and a low of -19. That wraps up your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news and the question of the day coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Our Justin Marshall had the chance to sit down with David Hansen, the MLA for Bonnyville, Cold Lake, St. Paul, to find out some of the highlights of 2019 and what he is looking forward to in the new year.
Hey, it's Justin Marshall from Hot 101.3 and Primetime Local News with a year in review. We're looking back at 2019 into 2020, and we're with MLA David Hansen for Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and St. Paul. Thanks for letting us in your home.
Thanks for being here, Justin. Always welcome here.
How was 2019 for you, Mr. Hansen?
Well, it started out in a flurry, and it hasn't really slowed down. It's been quite a run with the election in April and the nomination, all that stuff last year, and getting to this point. And 7.5 months in government, and 29 bills passed, and you ain't seen nothing yet. According to the premier, it's hold on to your hats for 2020.
What was your favorite bill out of the 29?
Favorite bill? Probably Bill 1, canceling the carbon tax.
Why?
Well, it affects every Albertan in a very positive way, I think. And I just recently had a meeting with one of the school boards in the local area, and it never really came up, but last year it cost that school board $300,000 just in carbon tax to keep their buildings heated and their buses running. So I think it was a real step in the right direction. I was very proud to be part of that.
Around these parts of the area, they call you the Fish King, and that's because you put together a members' motion that was supported unanimously, I read on Hansard, for us to get the walleye fishing back in the area.
Absolutely, and we did allow a friendly amendment. One of the MLAs from the opposition asked to include northern pike in the formula, which I accepted, and we did get that passed unanimously in the House. And it's huge for our area, the access to lakes, and folks just want to take their kids and their grandkids out, catch a few fish out in our own local lakes, and have a fish fry on the beach or in the campground. And I don't think that's an unreasonable ask at all.
Can we see that come to fruition and fixed in 2020?
I'm sure looking forward to it, and I've talked to the minister, and I think he's behind me on this, and of course he voted for it and supported me with my motion. So hopefully we get the Cold Lake Fish Hatchery doing what it was intended to do, which was raise walleye and hopefully some northern pike as well, and get our fisheries back up to where they used to be, and increase our tourism and everything that goes along with it.
Didn't you tell me off camera that Speaking of tourism, we're losing a lot of fish tourists to Saskatchewan because their lakes are open.
2018, I think the number was 24,000 Albertans bought fishing licenses in Saskatchewan. We lost between the year 2015 and 2018, just in a 1 year comparison, $1.5 million just in fish licensing alone. So it's a huge thing, and that doesn't even take into account all the tourism dollars that go with it. You go up to Lac La Biche, we've got a beautiful provincial campground up there, underutilized because people go into Saskatchewan to go fishing.
Mr. Hansen, we're looking ahead to 2020. What are some of the projects that you want to see get done, and what do you want to do as a government in 2020 looking ahead?
Well, number one thing is about getting our budget back in balance. And you know what, I said it, got into a little bit of trouble during the nomination for calling a spade and saying that, you know what, all Albertans are in this, and we got into this mess together, and we're going to get out of it together. And I think our Premier is well focused on getting us there, and it's going to be a big part of our job as government. And I know that a lot of people hesitate, especially when some of the cost savings affects them personally. But like I said, we're all in this together, and we have to work together to get out of it.
Speaking of the Premier, his numbers have recently plummeted with his disapproval rating quite high. Do you still support him?
Absolutely. You know, and I think they had the Premier's conference, and he had unanimous support from all of the premiers and of the provinces and territories supporting him in his bid to get more recognition for Alberta. And I think this is probably a blip in his popularity, but I think at the end of the road, you're going to see that he's probably the best guy to get the recognition that Alberta deserves.
Wasn't Ralph Klein's approval rating quite low at the start when the cuts started as well?
Absolutely, and his cuts were pretty severe. We're talking 20% with Ralph Klein. We're looking for 2.8%, which is less than 3 cents on the dollar. And you know what? I think Albertans are up for it. We just need to work together to get there.
And Mr. Hansen, who do we got right here?
Well, this is Brutus. He's a Maine Coon. Came to us a couple of years ago, and he's a member of the family.
You're a big pet guy?
Yeah, I'm a cat person and a dog person. We've got a black lab. We're pretty partial to black labs, so yeah. Hobbs out in the mudroom right now, minus 25 outside, so he gets to come inside to warm up.
Well, Mr. Hansen, Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for coming out.
All right, Dave Hansen, MLA for Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and St. Paul. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Well, it's Christmas. So the question was, what were some of your Christmas traditions when you were growing up? And do you still enjoy them today? I love all of them, but I do love waking up in the morning and opening gifts with my nieces. I love that whole tradition of them getting their gifts after.
I'll share mine after I read just a couple of comments that we got. We have red lead for Xmas morning, breakfast now, and when I was a kid. We also only open stockings Christmas morning till everyone is up. Oh. And then another lady chimed in, say we could open our stockings, but nothing more until everyone was up. We'd snack during the day, but no real meal until turkey dinner. Now anyone who sleeps in misses out, and we eat pumpkin pie for breakfast.
I love pumpkin pie.
Now one of my family's traditions came from when my mom was a kid.
Okay.
So every Christmas Eve, me and my sister got to open up one gift, and that gift every single year has been a pair of pajamas.
Oh.
And that's been a tradition since we were babies, since my mom was a kid. Her mom did that every year for Christmas Eve. Yeah. So this is a tradition that has been going on since the 60s, really. So it's so much fun. I love getting. She almost didn't get us any pajamas last year, but I was like, you have to.
You have to.
Exactly.
Pajama party.
Exactly.
The best. I love it. Another party is the pets. Thanks for sending these beautiful pets for us for a chance to win a gift card for a pet from the Pet Pad.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
We are here with Mickey Mickelson from Creative Edge, owner of Creative Edge, of course, with a lot of books and a lot of stuff this year that you've been doing. Tell us a little bit about Creative Edge and the stuff that you guys have been doing lately.
We're a publicity company that represents indie authors, traditional authors. We've worked with some nonprofits. Yeah. We've been in business since 2016, and within that time span, we've accomplished international media connections and a list of over 45 authors signed.
That's crazy. And it didn't begin that way. I mean, it began back in the day, or I say back in the day, but 6 months or not even, or is it a year?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years I've been going on
yeah.
this.
And
3
so,
years.
But when you started out with
one author.
One author.
Miranda O,
yeah.
out of Winnipeg.
Wow, how was that? How did you get her?
Indie author. She's a friend of mine I work with, and she's like, can you promote this book? I'm like, sure, I'll try.
Yeah.
6 months later, she sold 800 books. Word got out, and Creative Edge was born.
Wow.
Yeah,
but it was born and it spun and it started getting a lot more recognition, and then you got some big hitters.
Yeah, we got Robert J. Sawyer,
yeah.
The biggest name in Canadian science fiction.
Yeah.
We represent New York Times bestseller Tosca Lee,
yeah.
with her newest book, The Line Between's out. It's being auctioned for TV and all kinds of good stuff going on.
And that's the best thing, that once the authors are out there and then they're optioned for television and film and stuff like that, right?
Then it takes off.
It takes off. And this name that you came up with, Creative Edge, that came up with your daughter, right?
My daughter, my 12-year-old high-functioning autistic daughter.
Wow.
She picked out the name
Yeah.
and helped me actually with the logo, which is 2 puzzle pieces
Yeah.
as a semblance of the autism piece, right?
Wow.
So everything I'm doing
Yeah.
is a tribute to her.
To her, and such an amazing thing, because the company encompasses all of that and the reasoning of why you came about and the company came about. Let's talk a little bit about what you've done this year. Obviously, you've gone to different places and a lot of authors and stuff. What were some of the highlights for you this year?
We went to the South Dakota Festival of Books, signed a few authors there. I got Tosca on the Beautiful Writers podcast out of the United States, and that broadcast has been on every American airline, every flight this year. Wow. So those are some of the highlights for sure, and there's more coming.
And there's more coming. I think Tosca is brilliant. I love her book.
She's so admirable.
Oh.
She's so smart too.
Yeah.
So marketable.
So marketable, and that's key, right?
It is.
It is. So how do you get your peeps? Like, how do you get your authors in terms of, like, where do you find them? Do they come to you? How does
Word
that
of
happen?
mouth.
Wow.
All through social media. I think in the 3 years I've been doing this, I've reached out to 4 authors in total signed. I've got over 45 clients.
Wow.
And I'm turning down authors usually 10 a week.
Because you can't keep up, like.
Can't keep up, but it's got to be the right fit too, right?
Does,
It's got to be the right fit.
Yeah, and I think also being a publicist is different in this day and age now with internet and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people have ways of kind of publicizing or doing their own books, right?
They do.
E-books and all that kind of stuff. But it's very important to have somebody like you do something for them in terms of helping them publicize their books and get them advertising, get them all of that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of authors are trying to do it themselves, but are they doing it the right way?
Yeah.
I'm not sure on that, because a lot of those authors who were trying to do it themselves sought me out, and now we're growing.
Look at that, and you're growing. And the one thing I find about you with every author that you have is that you have your own touch on it in terms of you're very personal, and you're with each author. Tell me a little bit about what makes you different that way.
We don't do a cookie cutter approach to marketing.
Yeah.
What I'm doing for one book, like Miranda's book, I'm not going to do that with Tosca's books. Okay. So we center our target market and our platforms to cater to the strengths of every individual author, and that's the success piece.
Yeah. Which is a good thing. And also being Canadian, it's a little different because you're battling with Americans and other publicists that are giants.
Americans, UK, Australia, you name it.
You name it, but you're surviving and you're doing great. That's huge, right?
We're growing, it's good.
And what's the ingredient here? What's the key ingredient for you that is making your business grow? And
I think it's the relationship piece. You know, when I reach out to media, I make friends with the media. I get to know the media, and I get to know what they want.
Yeah.
So there's times where I don't even have to send a press release out. It's just a simple email, and it's done.
And I'm a testament to that. I know, because we become friends, right?
We did become friends, and thank you
thing.
for
this is a good thing. So what's next for you? What's happening in the new year? What's going on with your stuff?
We're just going to build our profile with the authors we have now. I'm looking to hopefully sign a couple more New York Times bestsellers. We're going to focus on the releases, get some more media opportunities, and build our year out.
Yeah, and if an author is out there trying to get a hold of you and wanting to do their connect with you, how can they do that?
www.creative-edge.services.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mickey.
I'm Justin with Boom 1019 and Hot 93.7, and here's what's happening. The Heartstrings and Roses Gala is the next big thing that is coming to Wainwright, and it's going down Saturday, February 8th. The Wainwright and District Community Health Foundation will host the annual Heartstrings and Roses Gala in support of the Wainwright Health Center. This year will be themed A Night at the Oscars, complete with a red carpet premiere. Their goal is to raise $100,000 for the CT scanner project. The evening will include a silent and live auction, fine dining, dancing, and entertainment. There are only 360 tickets available for purchase now. For more details, please check out our website, hot937.ca. Extreme Mud Fest 2020 is going down August 13th to the 16th. Headliners include Finger 11, I Mother Earth, and Emerson Drive, with more artists to be announced. Tickets can be purchased at extrememudfest.com, and of course, for more information, please check out our websites 1019boom.com or hot937.ca. And check out Boom's website for a brand new contest that wraps this week. It's ending on Friday the 20th. It's called Boom's Christmas Tree, and what you're going to do is you're going to send us a picture of your tree with full details on how to contact you. Now, the only way you can enter this contest is to do it on our website, so make sure you check that out. You could be winning an awesome prize package courtesy of the River Cree Resort and Casino. It includes a 3-course dinner at Stage 1, a one-night stay, plus a pair of tickets to Glass Tiger, which is pretty sweet. And like I said, this contest does wrap on Friday the 20th, so make sure you get it in now. I'm Justin with Boom 1019 and Hot 93.7, and that's what's happening.
We are here with Executive Director Valerie Lazicki with the Lloydminster Men's Shelter. Welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Thanks for inviting me.
You guys are doing so much, and I know it's not just called the Lloyd Men's Shelter. What is it exactly called?
Our actual name of our organization is Lloydminster Social Action Coalition Society.
Okay.
That's quite a handful.
Yeah.
So most people just know us as the Men's Shelter.
No, of course. And you guys have been around for 11 years. Tell us a little bit about what the shelter is all about.
The shelter is a 28-bed emergency overnight shelter for men, adult men age 18 and over.
Yeah.
But while only men can stay there, all other services that we offer are offered to anyone in our community, men, women, families.
Which is a really good thing, because I think it's important that more people know that. I don't. When you think of men's shelter, that's all you think about, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. And I know that you guys have a lot of new beds and stuff. I think you guys had some new beds, or no? The same.
No,
kinda,
we're at 28
okay,
still.
28
Yep.
still. So you're doing a drop-in center as well too. That's something new, right?
Yeah, we're really excited. We opened our drop-in center about a month ago.
Okay.
And it's open Monday to Friday during the day, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah.
We do a hot meal for breakfast, oatmeal and toast. People can stay for the day.
Yeah.
We have a hot lunch.
Yeah.
And it's run by a social worker, Riley, who's there to provide some outreach support. So he's connecting with people, helping them find affordable housing or financial stability, just sort of whatever their needs are. He's there to help them through the process.
Wow. You know, it's obviously a need here in Lloyd. What have you seen in the 11 years that you've been working there and doing, the shelter being here? What have you seen in terms of people needing this place and a lot of men and families wanting to come here in terms of being here in Lloyd?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, through the years, mainly when we started the shelter, it was for people coming for work in the oil field.
Yeah.
And they needed some just temporary housing until they could find accommodation.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing that at this time, it's a little bit different. Some people are staying a little bit longer. They're looking for additional supports outside of just a place to stay for a couple of weeks.
Well, of course. And what are some of the challenges you guys have faced in terms of, being open, doing this here in Lloyd?
Well, our biggest challenge is always funding, of course.
Yeah.
We're funded to about 80% by the governments of Alberta and Saskatchewan. So it's up to us to fundraise the shortfall of
Yeah.
about 20%.
And that's where this new event comes up, right? I think you guys are doing some event where it's the coldest day in the year walk-a-thon or walk, which is happening this year coming up.
It is, yeah. It's coldest night of the year.
Yeah.
Because why make it easy and do it during the day? So it's actually happens in over 120 communities across Canada.
Yeah.
So we join people from all across Canada and walk, and we all walk on the same day.
Yeah.
And it's on February 22nd, 2020. At Grace United Church. They're always gracious and host us.
Beautiful.
And we do a walk. It's a fundraiser, so we'd love to have some people start a team, register individually, whatever works.
Awesome.
If they don't want to walk, we would be happy to walk for them. If they want to donate to the men's shelter team,
Yeah.
we will walk on their behalf.
Beautiful.
It's just a really nice night. There's a warm meal that comes with it. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fellowship, and it's a great team building opportunity for businesses if they're looking for something unique to do with their team.
Yeah. And how much are you hoping to raise this year, obviously, from this event? How much are you hoping to raise?
Last year we raised about 23,000. We'd love to beat that.
Yeah, of course. Anything over 20 is good, right?
Absolutely.
So where can they register? And obviously your address, we don't know where, I personally don't know where it is. I should know, but.
Well, they
yeah.
can register online at cnoy.org.
Yeah.
It's so easy. They just go in, the registration just walks you straight through it.
Yeah.
You can donate to a team or register a team. It's
Awesome.
very easy. Or if they want to give the shelter a call, we can walk them through it if they need some
Yeah.
help.
What are your hopes for the new year? Obviously, Christmas is coming up. A lot of people need shelter, obviously. What are your hopes for the new year?
I just hope that we are able to support anyone in need in our community
Yeah.
to a greater degree than we have in the past.
Yeah.
We just are always looking to expand our services and our programs to help more people.
Yeah, and it's always a beautiful thing you guys are doing. So glad to have you guys here.
We're pleased to be here.
And Valerie, thank you for joining us today
Thank
and
you.
talking about all the stuff that's happening with the men's shelter.
Thank you. Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Thank you.